Hello world, welcome back to another Hack the Boo CTF 2022 write-up video. In this video, we'll be walking through all the reversing challenges from this CTF. Let's get into it. Okay, so we're starting off with cult meeting, and I won't bother reading all the details, but it starts us off with a Docker container as well as some files to download. I have those files over here on Linux, so why don't we go ahead and try connecting to the Docker container just to see what's going on. You knock knock on the door and a panel slides back. A hooded figure looks out at you. What is the password for this week's meeting? Test. That's not our password, call the guards. All right, so they also gave you this meeting executable right here. If we take a look at the type of file it is, we see that it's a 64-bit ELF. And if we run strings on it and scroll up, we'll actually see that where it asks the question, what is the password for this week's meeting, right under it is what appears to be the password that they want us to use. Super secret password for you. So we'll copy that and we will go ahead and clear again, and let's go ahead and netcat back in. And let's paste that password in. And now we have a bash shell. So if we do ls and then cat the flag.txt, we get our flag, infiltrating a cult of strings. So we will copy that, paste it in, and submit. All right, let's move on to EncodedPayload. So this is one where they have another file for us to download. So that I have right here. And if we run strings on that, it looks like it's base 64, but where does it start? Well, regardless, what kind of file is it? It's a 32-bit ELF, huh? Let's run strace on it. And if we scroll up, we'll see our flag right here in the stack trace. Please trace me. It's also down here as well. So we'll just, I already have it copied, so let's go ahead and, oh, I guess I didn't copy that very well. Let's try that again. Copy that, paste it in, and submit. All right, let's move on to Ghost Wrangler. So I have those files as well. It's this ghost file. If we run file on it, we see that it's a 64-bit ELF. This time I'm gonna open this up in Cutter though. As you can see, there's a main function, so let's go take a look at that. And then we see a get flag function. Let's go ahead and click that. And then here we see a phrase, so if we have run this, it would shown us something, and then it would have said, I've managed to trap the flag ghost in this box, but it's turned invisible. Can you figure out how to reveal them? Okay, so I probably should have tested this out so you could see it, but if we ran the ghost program, it's just blank there, but we know it's not blank because we can see whatever it is right here. So this is probably our flag, but it's obviously obfuscated. And as you can see here, it's XORing that chunk of data with OX13. So if we just took that chunk of data and we bring it over to CyberChef and paste it in, and then we get the XOR function out, and then we know it's 13 in hex, we actually get our flag, haunted by the ghosts of CTF's past. So we'll copy that, paste it in, and submit. All right, let's move on to algae. And so for this one, we can close that. I also have that in here. All right, so that's going to be a 64-bit ELF if we try running it. It's retrieving a key, and then it's going to do some other things and print out other stuff, but it takes forever to run, so we'll just leave it at that, and we'll run Cutter on it. And then we're going to go to the main function, and that is not the main function. There we go. And we're gonna notice a string that's being defined here in the RDI register that looks oddly like the flag format. So without going into all the nitty-gritty details of the program, as you can see here, it's just gonna tell you the different messages it's printing out and how long it's gonna take. It even tells you that this will take a while to execute. Without looking at all that and going into it, we can probably determine what kind of cipher this is, if it's a standard cipher. So let's try analyzing it in decodefr. And it looks like it returned back a affine cipher or a monoalphabetic or a rot cipher, one of these. So let's try the rot cipher first. And we'll paste it in, and let's try decoding it through brute force, and that looks like it ended up being it. HTTP, adding sleeps to your code makes it easy to optimize later is our flag, and it ended up being on rotation 18. So we'll copy that, paste that in, and submit. All right, let's move on to the final reversing challenge, secured transfer. So I have these files downloaded as well to my Kali box. It actually gives you two. I'll pull this open over here, and I'll bring the other one over here. So you get this trace.pcap, and then we can go ahead and open that up. And let me go ahead and navigate to my secured transfer folder. Okay, so let's do a file on secure transfer. It's a 64-bit ELF. We'll take a look at that in a second. But here, all you need to see in here is that there's this TCP data being transmitted here. If I can find it. Where is it? Give me 1 second. It is right here. This data right here. But it's clearly encrypted. So we need to figure out how we can decrypt it via reversing the program that they give us as well. So let's go ahead and run Cutter on secure transfer. All right, we have a main function here, and we can see that it's doing some kind of OpenSSL and crypto. Okay, there's a function call down here. Let's drill into that. And then if we scroll down, I think there's another function call. Yep, let's drill into that function. And then you're gonna see some notably readable hex characters being defined here. Now, what I did with this one is I opened it in just standard Radari so I could see it even better. And let's do a DB on main, DOO, DC, okay. We can PDF and we can see that we're in the main function. But we want to drill into this function right here, which is the first function we drilled into earlier. So let's do PDF at that function. And then there was one more time that it called another function that we drilled into, and that's right here. So let's drill into that one as well. And then this is the function we're currently looking at in Cutter. And as you can see, it looks like characters are being used here. And if you look at it long ways here, you can see that these characters are not in order. And if we scroll up, it actually kind of has the order that the variables are supposed to be in right here. So all we need to do is take these characters and put them in order as they appear here. Okay, so S, for example, which is in var 30, would appear first, which it does actually end up appearing first here. And then the next variable would be 2FH. So 2FH is right about, where is it? Right here, and that would be U. And then so on and so forth. So I went ahead and did that in Notepad++. As you can see here, I copied out the character decodes, and then I also copied out the order that they had them in the variable stack definitions, and it ended up coming out to be super secret key used for encryption. So this key is going to be used to help decrypt our TCP data that we had earlier. But we got to figure out how to decrypt it. So we still need to go and look and analyze our program here. So if we scroll down a little bit more, we see that there's another string called SOMEINITIALVALUE. And then we can also see that AES 256CBC was what was probably the encryption algorithm used to encrypt that TCP data, as that is the function being called here. So I'm thinking that since it's AES, you need an initialization vector and you also need the key. We have the key, so the initialization vector is probably this some initial value string. So if that's the case, we can easily decode it now, or we should easily be able to decode it now in CyberChef. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this hex data, so copy value, and then we're just gonna go, we can use this one, and we're gonna paste that in here. And then we're gonna say AES decrypt, and it has an option to put our input in as hex, and it's already set to CBC for us. So now all we need to do is grab our key, and I believe our IV was some initial value. Oh, and we also need to make sure to turn these into UTF-8. And there's our flag, very secure file transfer. So let's copy that, paste it in, and submit. All right, I think that wraps it up for all the reversing challenges from the CTF. So if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Turn on post notifications to get regular injections of cyber content directly into your feed. Check out our Patreon, join our Discord, and follow us on Twitter. Links in the description box down below. And leave any feedback or questions in the comment section down below. This is Almond Milk. Thanks for watching. Goodbye, world.